Well, hello there, everyone. How are you this evening? Linda, I see you made it. I'm happy to see that. I hope you got some rest. Um, of course, we start out with the weather, and tonight is going to be the alternate ending to my Chippewa Isle story. So there will be a spoiler alert. If you didn't hear the first part, I would suggest not to listen to the alternate ending because it might not make any sense. But if you did listen to the first part, I hope you like the alternate ending. But I got it all. I probably will revise it somewhere down the line, as you guys all know. But we'll see what happens. I usually start with the weather. And the second part of the show, too, by the way, will be dreams and what do they mean to you. So we hit almost 60 degrees today. So it feels like spring, like you wouldn't believe. So inner circle, leave the poor freaking rat alone and quit getting him to blame for what you keep on pulling out and telling everybody. It's not his fault. It's your fault. We're supposed to drop down to 32 tonight, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, our low tonight is supposed to be 32. Although we were supposed to get rain today, I don't know if we got any, and if we did, it was very little. But we're supposed to get snow tonight, maybe 1 to 3 inches, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow. But the temperature is going to be in the mid 30s tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting. And I have a feeling we might get a dumping on if it hits right around the freezing like that and it snows. We might get, they're saying 1 to 3 inches, but who knows? Thursday's supposed to be 42% chance. No, Thursday's going to be our coldest day. It's going to only be like 29, which we'll get in the 30s, and 18 at night, and a little bit more snow in that morning. But we're like 35, 47, 49, 46 for the rest of the month. We're in the mid to high 30s to low 40s, even the 50s. Today, I know some areas probably made 60 degrees. So I don't know what the inner circle, where they got their information from, but they don't know what they be talking about, is all I can say. Now, I did find a lot of stuff on dreams. Gabriella said she has some stuff on dreams, too.
Just my dreams.
Okay. So when I do the whole thing of dreams,
I have one thing on dreams on my TikTok. I just gotta.
Okay. So when we get into that part of it, if anybody wants to disclose their dreams and see if we can try to figure out what it means to you, we will find. What's the temperature there in good old Florida, Linda? Linda. I know you guys probably got in the 70s or 80s today, I'm guessing, right? 58. That wasn't too bad. That's kind of chilly, though, for Florida this time of the year, isn't it? Or is that pretty normal? Hi, Cactus.
Hi, Cactus.
Okay, so while we're doing, I was going to try to put a background up with the green screen so that we could actually maybe have some cool backgrounds. But the thing that I used, I need to be able to hook it up on there. I think I'm just going to find a stand and get one because I want a green screen in the back so we can have cool backgrounds with our yeah, your winter, like, is that normal though? 58, is that your normal winter temperatures, or is that a little cooler than normal? And by the way, guys, we did get my custom pack in of Universal Yums. Gabriella said she was hoping that we would have done it here tonight. However, I asked Abby if she wanted to do the custom pack that I ordered, or if she wanted to wait for the country one when it comes in, which the next country will be Poland, unless I order something beforehand. She said she wanted to do the custom one. So that will be either we can do a tomorrow show for that, or on Thursday do Yums and do in between the yums, maybe a subject or something. We'll figure it out. I will let you know tomorrow. I'll post it in the morning. I hope everybody got their notification. I did put it on the Facebook, the other side, and on YouTube. So I see people are tuning in. Cactus, I don't know if you were on when I said it. For the people that didn't hear the original story, Chippewa Isle, they probably won't want to hear the alternate ending because it might not make sense to them. But for those who did hear it, hopefully you like this ending. I know, like, everybody wanted to kill Alex on the other one. So here we go. This is the story I hope you guys like. Okay. We arrived near the island closer to noon. So I'm picking up just as the ship arrived pretty close to the island, obviously. Alex found a clearing alongside the shore and anchored the boat. All of us had lunch and talked about the legend of the island and what we hoped would be or would not encounter during our time there. We were going to divide into 2 groups to place cameras and some equipment as it was very early in the day. We didn't think that there would be any problems doing that. Alex stayed on the boat. Immediately, as we disembarked the boat one by one, we headed straight. Immediately, Gabriella had a very off feeling and stated that she felt even a little dizzy. We stopped and discussed our plans while we made sure she was all right. She said she couldn't explain her feelings, but all she kept saying was that something was off and she didn't feel right. We divided into 2 teams, the men and the women, for now. The men would head in the direction of where the jagged rocks were, and the women decided to traverse straight forward. Being such a bright sunny day with plenty of daylight, setting up equipment would be a breeze. After about an hour or so, both teams returned and we made plans for the start of our investigation. We asked each other if any of us had experienced anything odd or unusual during the setup of the equipment. And the only unusual thing reported was a dead silence and an odd chill in the air from the direction the guys returned from, where the area of the jagged shoreline was. They said it was particularly odd because there was no sounds at all. No birds singing, no sounds you would normally hear in a wooded area. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. The women reported just the opposite. They heard the birds chirping, crickets chirping, the slight movement of leaves when a light breeze passed through, everything you would normally expect. Because everything felt so normal, Gabriella felt more at ease. Definitely a lot more comfortable than what she felt when we first stepped foot on the owl. Because of the big difference in the 2 areas, we made an agreement that all of us would go in the direction of the rocks. After all, that seemed to be the place to capture something considering what the men just had experienced. Eric, Abby, B Squared, and Cactus all had cameras on them to film anything caught and for still pictures. Cactus, Linda, Gabriella, and myself were all equipped with our EVP recorders. So Cactus actually had her camera on her and an EVP. She be special. Chase wanted to use the amplifier since it picked up sounds from further distance. Douglas and Dylan were with Chase and Eric, and all of us followed behind in suit. We made sure everyone had their headphones and something ready to play, just in case, for our safety's sake. Since we had cameras already set up by the guys, we were to use our own personal ones only if we saw something or to take some quick snapshots to review later. If activity picked up, then we would film what we were encountering. Slowly and cautiously, we entered the area where the guy said there was a bit strange, out of the ordinary. Nothing was unusual at this point. We did hear the sounds of a few birds chirp and an occasional rustle in the bushes, most likely from a small animal. Running here, running in the house. Woo-woo. As we moved closer to the edge of the wooded area, at the end of the open field, things changed suddenly. That cold chill the guys experienced earlier hit us like a brick wall. It was quick and seemed to pass right through us. We all looked at each other like, what the was that? What just happened? Cactus thought she saw something straight ahead and quickly started taking snapshots. Linda, Gabriella, and myself pulled out our EVP recorders, and Abby hurriedly snatched the EVP amplifier from Chase to see if she could hear anything. Almost instantaneously, she yelled to us that she swore she heard some kind of humming or singing near the direction of the jagged rocks. We were all ready to put our headphones on, but held off. When or if all of us heard something, the headphones would definitely go on. Chase traveled further ahead with Dylan, Eric, and Douglas close behind. Abby stuck closer to us, but right behind the guys with the amplifier snug over her ears. Step by step, inch by inch, we walked into the wooded area, keeping our eyes and ears open every step of the way. The sounds Abby was hearing became louder, and all of us now heard the same humming and singing. Gabriella's feeling of what she felt earlier came back with a vengeance, like a huge slap in the face. Abby, myself, and the rest of the team started to feel very uneasy. What should we do? Should we continue? Are we in harm's way? Time seemed to stand still. Meantime, back at the boat, Alex had been waiting. A few hours had passed, and he heard nothing nor saw any of the crew. The time was right. His face glowed with that of accomplishing what he wanted. He knew what his goal was, and his face lit with the satisfaction of what he had just accomplished. He had been to the island before. He ran into the mysterious sirens of Chippewa Island and managed to escape. How? He made a deal with them. If they showed him a prosperous future and allowed him escape, he would bring them victims. We were the first in a while, but he was happy. He would go around, gather up all the traces of us, and leave as if this little adventure never took place. He first headed straight and gathered the cameras and equipment left there. Next, he headed towards the wooded area next to the jagged shoreline, where we all were. He knew what to expect. As he approached, he noticed that the wind picked up and that cold chill swept by. He knew his friends were nearby, and they got what they wanted, sacrifices. Alex noticed something unusual, though. He saw cameras and headphones dangling from the limbs from the trees. There were initials carved below, first and last initials, freshly made. Although he did not expect that because they, the sirens, usually leave a sign of some sort on the rocks, the carvings made him smile, a quite eerie, evil smile. He even chuckled a bit. The next thing that happened he did not expect. The team, one by one, walking very slowly, almost zombie-like, stepped from the wooded area. They walked like they were cast in some sort of spell. Alex did not know how to react. What's going on? This had never happened before. Why are they still alive? And even more so, why are they approaching me? Now, that eerie, evil grin that he once had overtook Alex's face, turned into fear. He froze in his place. He could not move at all. As all of us neared him, we circled him and all in unison started to chant, Alex, Alex, Alex. They want you. They are waiting for you, Alex. You came back. They want you back home. Alex passed out. When he came to, he was surrounded by his friends, his island friends. Alex wasn't the only one who knew how to make deals. We knew Alex had set his up there. There were many signs on the way. Alex slipped once by saying he was on the island before, and then covered up his tracks by saying, oh, that was it. He just remembered it in this story, the legend. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. Too many telltale signs. So when we neared the jagged rocks and the humming, singing all got louder, all of us took all necessary precautions. We placed our headphones on and blocked out all sounds. We were not going to get caught and lose our lives. Abby was the only one who didn't have her headphones on. We held her tight as she listened to the calling of the island residents. They did want us, but they knew we outsmarted them, and so they wouldn't have to jump to their deaths. We made the offer to them, a sacrifice. Alex. We were able to escape their spell and make the deal, but we needed to lure Alex to them, so we all devised this scheme to make him think we were captured, but he would be the sacrifice this time. Alex was now where he belonged, home. His tale, his story, and our adventure would be repeated for years to come. Should we have left him there? Was it right for us to do that? When it came down to the decision, we thought of how many people he may have brought there prior to us, and we all came to the conclusion, yes. After all, he was willing to sacrifice all of us. The story will be told, and our lives, well, we had an experience we would never forget, and once in a lifetime encounter that very few would have and survive. Ta-da! Did you guys like it?
Alex died.
Alex died.
I liked it.
So he got his
Right decision for sure.
Now, I will revise the whole story later on with the original ending and the alternate ending. Add a little bit more like detail to it, but with me writing it as fast as what I did for you, I skipped a lot of, I didn't want it to be too long or would be here for a couple hours just on that one story. Well, great. I'm glad you guys like. Is there a version that you like better? Are you glad Alex got kaputted, or did you like the big twist in the original?
I like both of them equally.
You liked it? You don't think it was lame? Okay, cool. Cool. You like the alternate better, Eric? Well, that's cool. That's interesting. I think a lot of people will be happy that they got their revenge. But yeah, I like what I wanted to do in the story too was explain how we figured out that he was setting us up. But that's why I put that little bit in there that he kind of did a couple slip ups on the way, especially as we got closer to the owl. And one by one, each of us picked up something that he said that kind of made us alert. So then when
this guy's stuff.
Yeah, this guy, he's been here before, definitely. He knew what direction to take us to or to tell us to go to. He knew exactly where the jagged rocks was. He knew where the clearing was. He knew just a little bit too much for never being on that island before. So, but okay, who's ready to get into dreams now? Everybody ready for the dreams? I got pretty much on the dreams, believe it or not. I was a little bit, I was kind of surprised at some of them, but then I wasn't at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Let me see if I can find that video.
I was actually going to play the song Sweet Dreams when we came on, but then I don't want to copyright. So they're like, well, there goes that. I cannot put us in a copyright thing. So I do have an intro, I do have an outro, and then I have the info. So here's the intro. Close your eyes. Drift between what is and what could be. Tonight, we step beyond the waking world and into the realm of dreams, where memories blur, symbols speak, and the unknown whispers in the dark. Every dream tells a story, and every story reveals a piece of us. Welcome to the place where reality sleeps and dreams awaken. When the world falls silent and your eyes finally close, another world awakens, a world where time bends, shadows speak, and reality is no longer bound by rules. Dreams are not just stories of the night. They are doors to our fears, our past, and sometimes to the things we cannot explain. Tonight, we step beyond the veil between waking and sleeping. Welcome to the world of dreams.
I'm writing this down real quick.
So, I have dreams are a mixture of psychology, biology, and personal meaning. People have tried to explain them for thousands of years, and while we still don't know everything, here are the main ways to understand them. And I was kind of surprised I found pretty much information. As a matter of fact, on my phone, there is a site where we can go. If you say a dream and you want to know what it is, there's over 100 dreams that they can try to explain. Maybe one of them will fit what yours means. The scientific explanation: brain activity during sleep. Most vivid dreams happen in REM sleep, when your brain is very active, but your body is paralyzed. Memory processing. Your brain uses sleep to sort memories and emotions. Dreams may be a side effect of that sorting. Emotion regulation. Stress, fear, excitement, or unresolved feelings often show up in dreams. Now, the psychological views. Freudian. So if you know of his is symbolic. So if you know Sigmund Freud, he believed dreams show hidden wishes or unconscious desires. An example is falling may reflect insecurity or loss of control. The Jungian view. He believes in archetypes and symbols. Carl Jung thought dreams were universal symbols and help with self-discovery and growth. An example of that is a shadow figure could represent a part of yourself you avoid. I did not know that. Modern psychology. Many psychologists today think that dreams help process emotions, rehearse threats or situations, combine random brain signals into stories, and common dreams and possible meanings for falling. You're feeling out of control or instability, being chased, avoiding a problem or a fear, your teeth falling out, anxiety about appearance, aging, or control. And I also heard that it means if your teeth are falling out like one by one, that there's something in your life that's falling apart, that is being disrupted, that you're trying to find out what's going on. It's trying to tell you this is what's happening. Flying, freedom, confidence, or escape. Being unprepared as for a test, self-doubt or pressure. Visiting the dead, grief processing, memory, or comfort. Spiritual or paranormal interpretations. Some cultures and beliefs see dreams as messages from spirits or ancestors. Some believe that it's premonitions, and some believe that it's astral experiences. There's no proof, but many believe that they find personal meanings from them. Most important, they are your personal dreams. Your personal feelings in your dreams matter. For example, a snake or spider may be fear to one person, but it could be comfort or healing to another. So that's kind of how they look at when you're processing dreams, because you're having this particular dream, maybe your teeth falling out, maybe for one person, it does signify anxiety. Maybe to the other person, there's something in their life that's falling apart and it's signifying that. So your personal dreams are regulated to you kind of have to try to figure out what they mean, what happened to you prior. So here are some more common dreams. Being naked in public, feeling of vulnerability, embarrassment, or fear of just being judged. I did not know that. I did not know that that's what that meant. Being trapped or lost, feeling stuck in a situation, unable to make a decision, or lost of direction. Taking a test. It usually signifies pressure to perform or a fear of failure. Death. If you dream of that, a major life change, transformation, or the ending of one phase or chapter of your life and the beginning of another. So a lot of people think if you dream of death, I guess it's like the death card from tarot. A lot of people think, oh shit, I got the death card. That doesn't always mean something bad. It just means the death of something bad that was going on in your life.
The end of something.
And the beginning of something new. If you're dreaming of vehicles driving out of control, some say that it means concerns of the direction that your life is moving in, or that you're moving in that direction too fast. Key things to consider: context. Your dreams are personal. The same dream may be different to you than what it is to other people, and what's based on happening in your life. Emotional. Focus on how you felt in the dream. For example, were you panicked? Were you relieved? Were you excited? Rather than the imagery that you see in your dream. So focus more on your emotions of what you're having, not so much by the picture image that you see when you're having that dream. Physical. Some dreams are like teeth falling out. One could be triggered by physical sensations or aspects. For example, grinding your teeth while sleeping. So people that are normally teeth grinders could be dreaming that their teeth are falling out. It could be that teeth grinding that brought that dream to them. Dreams can provide insight into your emotions, worries, and stresses. Your dreams are a way to process those emotions. And the context one and the physical one both came from the Cleveland Clinic Health Study. So that's kind of what I got on dreams right now. Gabrielle, if you want to, I have an outro when we're done tonight, but that's what I found. So
the only one that I found, it's the spiritual meaning of this one, but then I have like my dreams, my personal dreams. Flying in your sleep or falling while waking up. The dreams of flying or jolting awake weren't just dreams. They were signs of early astral travel. Children are often more naturally able to leave their bodies and return before the mind fully wakes.
Wow.
I had a lot of those when I was a kid.
Wow. I think a lot of us as a kid does dream of flying, so it is interesting. It
wouldn't just be like flying though. It'd be like physically jumping off of something and then soaring through the sky. And I'm afraid of heights, and somehow
that's the kind of dreams I had. I have a dream like I was on top of a cliff or a mountain or something, and I'm there like, okay, I'm gonna jump. And I knew that if I jumped, I'd probably die because I'm jumping from high space, but yet I'd jump for some stupid kid reason, and I'd go, and next thing you know, I'm flying. So I guess, and then I know a lot of people, they say if you have a dream and you hit, then you don't wake up. I've had dreams that I hit, and after I hit the ground or hit the floor or whatever I hit, I see myself laying there, and sometimes not in good condition. And
that's just not normal. Like, you're not supposed to be able to see yourself die.
dreamed like that many times.
That's strange.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
It's always you hit the ground, you're awake. You jolt up.
I literally hit the ground or hit whatever, and I could see my body laying there. So I wonder what that means. I'm going to have to look into that.
Right.
Anybody else? Anybody have any dreams that they would like to share or any questions?
Maybe it's because you knew you were dreaming.
I think because I can control my dreams.
I can too, but it takes a lot for me to do that.
I can't control them all the time. It depends on the dream. But like if I have a dream that something's coming after me, or I'm in a situation that I don't think I'm going to be able to get out of, I can wake myself and pull myself out of that. Or I can start concentrating and think of something else and go into an entirely different dream. So do people ever share dreams? I've not seen anything on anybody sharing dreams, but I guess if anybody says, well, I guess that would be where I think astral projection would come in, because I'll tell my story and then you can, because I can tell you have something you want to say. The night that I was talking about, Tom was on a trip. And this was when I know I astral projected to him, but he thought he was just dreaming of me being in his hotel room. I thought I was just dreaming of him asleep in the hotel room. But when we talked the next day, he told me about this dream. He knew what I was wearing. I says, Tom, what time did you have this dream? And he said it was like 4 something in the morning. And I said, after I saw you in the hotel room waking up saying, hi, honey, and talking to me and that, I said, I glanced at the clock and it was like 4 something in the morning. It was like the exact same time that he said that he had seen me. So I initially thought like I was dreaming of him, he was dreaming of me, but I think that shared dreams could be maybe where astral projection or something comes into play, and depending on what kind of shared dreams that you're talking about, because maybe some of them aren't actually even dreams, maybe some of them are like a dream-like state where everybody's thinking the same thoughts or something.
That makes no sense to me is the people say like if you remember a dream very vividly, that was your brain trying to warn you of something.
Okay, Max and Sia, behave.
That was
see, now I never. If you remember dreams very vividly,
if you remember the way you were feeling and how vivid the dream was, then your brain is trying to warn you of something.
That's weird because most of my dreams are very vivid.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's odd because most of my dreams are very, very vivid.
Unless you're strutting around the book, waving your arms up and oh my gosh, same. I'm terrified of heights too, and I'd be very scared of how high I was flying, trying to stay as close to the ground. Me too! Yeah. Every time I had a dream where I was flying, I was always a kid, and I would jump off of something, but I would stay in like the line of the top of the roof, like the building.
Watch all of us go to sleep tonight and dream that we're flying. That would be funny. So because it's kind of been planning in our head this, okay, am I gonna hit? Am I gonna wake myself up before I hit?
But are we gonna dream of each other?
Well, there it was. Maybe we're all gonna fly to Chippewa Isle and see what if we can find some of Alex's bones there or remnants of Alex. I had so many different ways that I could have went with that story. And I mean, there's still a lot of things. I wish I could have put more details and more effects, like sound effects and visuals to it. But again, like I said, with me just wanting to make it where it wasn't gonna, just one alternate ending was gonna last our whole entire show. I didn't want to do that because we do gab, and usually our shows that we want to be only like an hour ends up going and turning into an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, so we don't want that to keep on happening. So, but anybody have any dreams that they'd like to share?
I have 14 dreams written down.
Go ahead, do one, and maybe somebody will follow suit then to say.
My last ones are really weird. I would run and then kick, push, jump off the ground and go flying or floating. That's what Cactus said.
I've had some dreams like that. Like mine, though, usually stemmed when I was in school, when we were doing races and that in school. And like I was fast. I was tiny and I was fast. And they kind of picked on me about it because we had our whole senior class up for a race. And they got, and the guy that they pitted me up against to have a race with, he was real tall, had real long legs, and here I am, this little tiny short thing with little short legs, and I almost beat him. I kind of like stumbled a little bit right at the very end, and I started getting a little bit of pain in my side because we had just run how many races before that, and I would have dreams after that I'd be running and like kind of sprinting and going, and the next thing you know, it was like, it's like this game that me and Eric's playing right now called sled sliding.
I play too.
Do you? It's fun. And you hit a ramp and you're there like, shh. So in that essence, it's like you're running and you get, and then you're like, you're soaring right up, and I won that race. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So
yeah, I have had dreams of where like I jumped somewhere, but it was like anti-gravity type of jump thing.
What's the difference between astral projection and dreams?
Astral projection is supposed to be like another universe, like plane of existence. Your dream kind of is exactly the same thing according to scientists.
Here's how I look at it. A dream is simply that, a dream. You're asleep, you're visualizing something, you're going to these amazing places or not so amazing places.
Yeah, but according to scientists, not.
Well, I don't go by, I mean, scientists, they have a lot of proof in that, but at the same time, nothing is completely solidified in any of their proof that they found. They're still questioning, especially when it comes to the afterlife or paranormal or anything like that. Astral projection, you don't necessarily need to be in a dream, because you can put yourself like in a trance-like or a meditated state, and you can astral project. So you don't actually have to be in REMs or in a dream like.
But like if you're sleeping and then you realize that you're sleeping and you can control what happens in your dream, isn't it that kind of like a form of astral projection?
Well, you can astral project in a dream, absolutely, but you don't necessarily have to have a dream to astral project, because like I said, you can go put yourself in a trance-like or meditated state and you can project. I mean, I guess it would also, some people would say it is a dreamlike state. It's really not, because you're well aware of, a dream you can't control. Astral project, when you put yourself in that state, you can't.
But if you're like an advent lucid dreamer,
you can astral project. I mean, they are tied together, but I wouldn't say that you have to dream. Like, there is differences, and that was what her question was. There is differences, but they are tied together, definitely. And then Cactus says, well, that's, yeah, Tom, like, he's when I asked him what time that happened, he asked me what I was wearing, and he was able to describe what my nightgown or my pajamas was on that I had that night. He said I was standing at the foot of his bed. And he said, "Oh, honey, you're here." And he said a couple things to me, and it just all it. He says, "Hon, you were there with me." He said he could almost reach out and touch me. That's how vivid I was right there to him. So, but yeah. So, another dream.
One of mine was creepy. It would always pop up when I was a kid, and I never understood why. It still kind of freaks me out to this day, but I don't have this dream anymore. So it was, if you know the movie Lights Out, before that movie even came out, I would have this dream that this like shadow figure would follow me, but only if the lights were out. If the lights were on, which I would have to run to the lamp to turn it on, it would not get me, but the lamp would turn off by itself, so I'd have to keep running back. And the closer and closer this thing got to me, the more like anxious I felt, and that like I was in danger. And it never caught me though. I was always able to go up to a lamp or some type of light.
I was wearing night clothes. It was either a nightgown or pajamas. I can't remember.
But anyways, I was always able to get to some sort of light to deflect this shadow figure before it got me. And then I would wake up and I would be like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rather creepy.
It's like it's really weird because I always felt like the thing was going to get me, but I was always fast enough to reach the light before it did. And then I would wake up and I'd just be like, okay, that was weird.
Well, I have on my phone, I'm sure you can pull it up too. There's one part on there where it says over 100 dreams and what they may mean. So I don't know if they're in there or not. The weird one that I kept on having, which was, not just one, but I had like, when they're vivid, when there's somebody in a dream either running or they're in danger, but then they turn and they look right at me like, can you help me, or warn somebody I need help? Like as if I was seeing somebody in a very defenseless state, and they literally turned and looked right at me like they were asking me for help. That's the ones that kind of like, okay, like what the hell does that mean?
That is weird.
Why did that look like a picture of Dave, like from a text or something that just showed up on my freaking phone? That was kind of freaky. Let me see if I can find that, because there was like over there, like it says, 100 dreams and their meanings. But most of them, like they say, no, this was from a medium. This is, well, and trying to interpret what your dreams are. It says, can you seriously interpret your dreams? Well, that's what people want to know. So, like, they have here, like, baby, flowers, blood. Like, another one that I had that I was telling everybody once before was where I was in this room and there was no doors, no windows, which I don't know where I was at, but I'd be in there and it was like real eerie. And then from the corners, there'd be like a red, like blood-like substance just coming down from the corners. And then all four corners at the same time. And then it would kind of start traveling over from each corner into the wall itself, and then come dripping down there. And I got so scared and so petrified that I'd wake myself up. I don't know what that dream is, but this, it says blood. Blood is the sap of life. Bloody injuries are painful and can be dangerous. In the dream interpretation, the dream of loss of blood represents a wounded soul. In turn, blood in the event of tooth loss heralds problems in life. Anyone who sees blood on others fear their illness or even the death of a loved one. But I didn't see the blood on anybody. I saw the blood coming from the walls. So I don't know what that would mean. Maybe
it's surroundings, like, I don't know. Like you were
illness, maybe surrounding something unhealthy surrounding something, maybe.
I don't. Like if you were getting ready to move, and you were seeing kind of like the walls just disappear.
But this normally happened in my younger years. I think I've only had that same dream maybe once or twice from like say my 30s or so on. I have not had that dream. I mean, very, very, very rarely.
I don't like when you have an active night of vivid dreams and wake up exhausted. Like, I go to sleep to rest, not stressed, and wake up.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's happened to a lot of people too. But yeah, there's over 100 ex-boyfriends. You want me to read it?
I guess.
If you have a dream of an ex-boyfriend, if the ex-boyfriend or the ex-girlfriend appears in a dream, it can express longing for the former relationship. More often, however, such dreams symbolize a warning that you could fall back into an old pattern or of thought and behavior. Anyone who finds dreams of an ex-partner stressful could also carry unresolved conflicts with them, which I've had one or two dreams of Eric's dad, but there is some unresolved shit there that I have questions that...
That's like my dreams of... I just heard a click in the kitchen.
Is somebody in the kitchen? Dylan, is that you?
Is it the cat?
Who's in the kitchen? Please don't try to scare us. Dylan, you wouldn't do that anyhow. That was very, very distinct. That was not cat. That was clicking and walking. Like we heard that one night before. Is somebody in the kitchen? This is not funny. We'll be right back. Shit out of you. Stop it. It does not sound like somebody walking out here in the kitchen. It sounded like somebody opening up a door. It sounded like somebody came and was opening up the refrigerator door or the cellar door or the bathroom door, a door. Max, stop it. So here we go again. Did any of you guys hear those? It sounded like somebody was in the kitchen and like they were opening up a refrigerator door or the bathroom door or something. And you could like hear somebody walking and rustling around in whatever the hell they were doing.
I don't know, but I don't feel good out there. Something like, I think something pulled on my shirt.
That's like, what's going on?
I went to open the door, the sliding doors to see if like somehow that was the noise that we heard. And then after after I like turned a certain, I felt.
Well, what's going
But
on?
I don't know if it was just like my shirt getting caught on something or like I moved a certain
There's nothing
way.
there that you could have got caught on because the sliding door has no like. There's nothing there that you could possibly have got caught on. And you're not tall enough for the rock where your dad's hat is, because if that would have been a case, it would have been.
I wasn't even close to the hats, but I was by like where the grill is kind of hanging off.
There was something in the background. What do you mean there was something in the background?
What?
What do you mean there's something in the background?
Yeah, what do you mean there was something in the background?
Like, did you see something up here?
Because it's happening.
It's again.
Who's out there?
If somebody's sneaking in through that side door and you think you're funny, you're not being very funny. Who is out there and what the heck are you doing? Thomas, is that you?
Quick, get a meter. Parasolo's here.
Parasolo! Hey, were you able to check into anything about the school? I think I'm going to try to contact Jim Whitehead and see if he can find out how we can get in that school down there.
What's that?
That was
no, it wasn't. That was out there. That's why he's barking. What the fuck is happening?
Okay. Who the hell? Enough is enough. I don't think no. Yeah, but that was.
I'm just missing it.
Okay. I don't know. That's just. I'm sorry, guys, that we left a couple times, and that's just. It's kind of. This is the second time now, but the dogs are barking too, and they never bark. How many times have we done these shows and the dogs are as quiet as can be?
But if they hear sound, they're gonna bark.
But that's what I'm saying. Why they have to be hearing something what we're hearing? And I don't have any of my equipment charged up, or I would.
Can you release the dogs and see where they go?
If we release the dogs, everything on this table is going to go. Because they're like mooses and they will. That's. Sound, it sounded like a door opening. And Linda said she thought she saw something. That's the second time that when we're doing a show here that kind of shit went on.
Yeah. I don't know, because that was loud.
And that's just it. It was very loud. And
it was literally sounded like a door. Like somebody walked through the door.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could hear a door and you could hear walking. And then, like, you know how when we're out in the kitchen and we're looking for something and we're like clicking, like the clicking of the door and, you know,
like
that's what it sounded like. And when you know, it's another one where we're doing topics like dreams where the situation's already kind of like,
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Parasolo, I'm going to see if I can contact Jim White. The only problem is I grew up in West Branch. I don't know right now. I haven't been back that way for years. I don't know how the people in that area feel about paranormal investigations or the paranormal. And so I have to figure out how I want to approach it to see if somebody can allow us to get in there to investigate for paranormal activity. And that's going to be the feat in itself. But when I went to school there, I know there's a couple places in that school definitely has activity. And one was the very top floor that they called the Crow's Nest. That was always eerie there. And there's the corridor where the cafeteria is. Well, when you walk the corridor where the cafeteria is and you veer to your right, it takes you down another like hallway, and that's where like the music room was, and like the gym locker rooms and stuff, and that was down in that area. And that whole area there was always very, very, very off. Yeah, Northern Cambria High School. It's the one that's up on top of the hill. And
I'm freezing. All of a sudden.
I'm not. And also down the very, very basement is where they used to have, when the building was first built, that was the bomb shelter area. There's like a lot of weird filling down in that area too. So, and the auditorium. So there is, I want to get in that school, and even the school itself, the hill that the school was on, that the area around there, that it is a pretty big school. There's the basement, the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, and then you go up from the third floor to where the auditorium and that is would be, I guess you would call it the fourth floor. But then there's steps in that leads from there that goes up, and it takes you across from the auditorium, that what they call the Crow's Nest, which is, there was like another room up what they called the Crow's Nest. And I'm telling you what, that would be a good investigation. Another place, Parasolo, if you want to look into, is the Hastings. I think it's the community center. They do offer investigations there, but I don't know who to contact and how much it would cost, or if they just want a donation. So if you get any of that, keep that in mind. Just stay in contact with me, because if we do get to school, since you're in that area, I want you to join along with us. So I think that would be one hell of a good investigation. So Kiwi, I wouldn't call it really a Bible Belt area. I just don't know. I don't know, because some of the people in that area when I was growing up claimed they had saw UFOs and stuff and that, and like, so I don't know. I just don't know how open they would be to that. And I know Jim said he is a pastor, and I don't know if he's still a police officer or not, but I don't know how he would feel about that. So, but he lived right across from me and my ex-husband when we lived up in Spangler. Like, our house was right here, and he was directly across the street. And Jim and I are really, really, really good friends. Like, we knew each other well from being neighbors. So I don't know if that would help or not. But I know he also, when my mom passed and my sisters passed and that, he did the sermon and that at the funeral for them. So, and the guy can yodel like you will not believe. He can yodel. If you want to hear somebody yodel, I didn't even know he knew how to do that, but wow. So yeah, the school would be a fantastic investigation. It really would. So but yeah, that's what's going on. See, now it all stopped. It all completely stopped.
That's why I think maybe it was the cats.
I think, but it was, you could hear footsteps, and it's like something, I can't say it. I don't think it was the cats. That was too loud.
If they're trying to get out the door.
No, that was that, because you would hear scratching, and that was too loud. I'm 100% without a shadow of a doubt debunking a cat or cats. That is not what we heard. So don't try to convince yourself that that's what.
They were right by the door.
No, it wasn't the cats.
I don't know. I'm
100%. I did not hear cats. So let's get back into the dreams. Let's see if something else can happen. You have another one?
I have a bunch of them, but the shadow thing that I had when I was a kid, for some reason, don't know why that happened. Telekinesis dream. I still have that.
I have telekinesis dreams, yep.
I don't know why.
I think it's because we, excuse me, I think we talk about it. Damn. Am I done yet?
Are you okay?
I hope so. I think because we talk about telekinesis and how we both wish that we could do that, I think that somehow.
But I don't really talk about it. I mean, when we watch Stranger Things, I'm like, that would be a cool ability to have. But before it became a thing is when I started having those dreams.
I don't know. I got that dry spot.
I had that earlier.
In my throat. And I'm drinking coffee and it doesn't seem to be coating it. Damn, I hate when that happens. Thank you, guys. I'll be fine. I get these dry spots in my throat and I just cough and cough and cough. And I could still feel it right in there. It's like when you're eating like a potato chip or something, or a pretzel, or even a dry piece of toast, and then that one spot gets in your throat.
Yeah.
And you just can't get rid of it no matter what.
Yeah, I had that happen to me earlier while I was over at the apartment. But yeah, telekinesis, that's another dream that I have. I don't know why, and I think I don't know, maybe it's like a spiritual awakening of I don't know. I don't know. But I have what are you doing?
I'm trying to
You read that?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there was anything that I missed or that we missed. Yeah. I wish I had some equipment charged up, but I mean, I have my REM pod over there, but I know damn well there's no juice in it, that it's not the battery. I probably should have taken the battery out of it. That it's not gonna work, and I have to find out where I put my EVP recorder. I have some peppermint, but I do like spearmint a lot better than peppermint, so I should buy. I remember years ago when Eric was a baby, and I had bronchitis. Well, actually, it turned from bronchitis into walking pneumonia, and I kept on coughing and coughing and coughing. And they had the spearmint Hollis cough drops, and those things were so good. And I ate them like candy, which you're not supposed to do that, but it did help. Every time I got a coughing spell, it helped.
I do that with the Tic Tacs. They're so good.
I do that with those watermelon candies that I got.
They are candy.
Yep.
Tic
But
Tacs,
they're sugary, though. I get over the dollar store. They have this bag of their like gummy candies, and they're shaped like little watermelon wedges. and they are coated with sugar, and they're watermelon. They're really really good. Now, Universal Yums custom pack that I had just gotten in. There are watermelon cookies in there, and there are sour watermelon wedges. So
Yeah, that's good.
But so we just got to decide if we want to come on tomorrow night and do a special Universal Yums or save it for Thursday, because I know Gabriella's working on a couple really really cool things.
Well, I have my research.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, you have it done?
It's done.
Yeah, it's really really a good subject. Really cool.
I will say, depending on where you find the story, it's different.
It's usually anything. Look at the guy that spotted that. They tried to switch it around, but then they had the video that they couldn't switch. That guy that was coming from North Carolina along that stretch that had that encounter with, he thought it looked like a bloody soldier or something, or a guy that was all tattered and bloody, and it ended up being, I think it was a skinwalker that jumped on his.
Yeah, I think it was too.
So,
but yeah, so I found the story on YouTube, and then I was like, wow, that's actually that's a crazy story. I definitely need to write that down and look for it. I tried finding the video on YouTube again, but I remembered what the guy said about the story, and I was like, okay, well, I have that in my memory, so I think I'll be fine. Anyways, then I searched up something similar to it, and I actually got the name of the person and the rest of it. And so I went off of that, and they said the exact same thing. So I wrote down a lot of information.
What is the, like, we'll post it tomorrow on Real Talk then. Is that what you want to do on Thursday? So when do we want to do the Universal Yums?
Did you ever look up what Gabriella's alien spaceship iced coffee dream meant?
No. I wonder if it's in that list.
That one was vivid.
Let me see.
But I didn't feel scared. I felt like at peace in the spaceship, and with that random dude that I met.
Hair loss.
After like the fourth time of me.
Dogs, love, sea, nudity, horse, pregnancy, sexuality, spider, coral. So I don't even know. It would have to be what, like alien spaceship?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I would imagine we could probably do an AI.
We'll just try to look for it there first.
It's
abyss.
Symbol of danger, fear of an unknown project.
Agent.
Departure times for changes, railroad station, farm, dream catcher, burglar lioness, mythical creatures, cemetery, household witch, malevolence, labyrinth, mother nature. Revenge, Satan, grief. I would probably just type it into AI and see what they say, like ChatGPT or something like that, and see if we can come up with what they interpret it as.
Yeah, but the most prevalent part was the alien spaceship. So, like, the iced coffee was a plus.
Maybe it signifies that because you don't really get out of the house a lot. Maybe it was signifying that your desire to go and get away and just get out of your normal.
But in an alien spaceship, so vivid, with a random person,
I'm
and everybody else that I tried to talk to.
I don't know. Like, yeah, like she said, probably the parts that each have a different meaning.
Yeah, that's why I
So
that's why I said the most
Yeah.
prevalent part was the spaceship, though.
So, and that's why I said that could maybe signify that your desire to get out of the house because you're always in the house.
Monkey's here.
Monkey in the house. How are you doing tonight, Monkey?
What are your crazy?
Monkey needs to get the story that he has about creatures and stuff native to New Mexico.
New Mexico.
So,
Outside.
going outside can be scary.
Try and go. The other night.
There you go.
Here's
There
a
it
crazy.
comes.
Here's a crazy thing. The other night we were taking out trash. Well, Eric was taking the dogs out first, and then he said there's something out there that the dogs don't like and is making weird noise. And so as I was coming over here, I heard the same noise, and it sounded like, I would say, like a coyote and a fox mix. It was a loud, screeching, barking, screaming thing.
We have foxes here, but do we have coyotes here?
But it was like a mix. It was like a mix of the both of them. It didn't sound like a fox by itself because the fox makes that screaming noise.
Right.
But it was like a howling / screaming combined. It was weird. It was a really weird sound. So anyways, he was talking about how the dogs, there was something outside that the dogs didn't like, and I was like, it's probably that weird ass sound that I'm hearing out there. And then it was time to take the trash out, so I needed help carrying the one bag because it was pretty heavy, and I don't even remember what was in it. But as we were taking the trash out, he looks at me. He's like, "That's weird. I can't see any facial features on your face." I was like, "What?" He's like, I literally can't see your face right now. Like, I'm looking directly at you, but I can't see your face. And I was like, I'm gonna go inside. So, don't know what that was about, but the fact that you can see my face, that was kind of weird.
Everyone knows iced coffee and yummy foods are the only thing that lures an introvert out of their cozy space. Monkey, have any dreams to share? Come on, Monkey, share some dreams. Come on, guys. Well, it was like I was saying, it was last year. It was probably, I'm going to say, it had to be like midsummer time. And the front of our house where I took those pictures of the snowfall and that when we had it, not the first row of houses that's next to the road, but somewhere in the background. Not all the time. I would think it would be a dog or something, but if it was a dog, normally dogs will bark or howl pretty much any night or any kind of sound of movement. This one night in particular, it was kind of almost like a howl and a growl at the same time, and it was just, you swear, and it was kind of foggy too, so you would get the imagery in your head of watching one of those old time werewolf movies, and you hear that type of sound in the background. That's kind of the imagery that came in your head when you heard that particular sound. It was quite eerie, and somebody was with me out in the porch that night when we heard that. But I can't remember who it was.
Did you remember about what?
Had a dream about Chulu, Chulhu. That's about had some dreams where I died in them. What is that? What is?
What is?
I'm a little bit confused. Is that something prevalent to New Mexico? Yeah, I don't like dreams. Those are the ones that I can wake myself up of. Let me see. I can look it up. CTH. I don't know even how to pronounce it, but it said it's a colossal, godlike, cosmic entity created by H.P. Lovecraft. Described as having an octopus-like head with tentacles, rubbery humanoid body, and bat-like wings.
Created by what?
H.P. Lovecraft.
What is that?
Author. That kind of sounds similar to the not the octopus part, but the bat wings and everything, like the Jersey Devil. See right there. But it doesn't have the Jersey Devil doesn't have the octopus tentacles and everything, and that is rather creepy. I wouldn't want to dream about that. Holy moly.
You had a thing that said what mythical creatures mean when you dream of them. What were the mythical
Now I got to go back and find it, Gabriel.
Well, you got to do that. Know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me see, mythical, right? Mythical baby, flowers, blood, boss, eating, we fall flying, cheating, money, wedding, love, snakes, separation, death, pursuit, water. Blah, 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 blah. Abyss, rejection, barrier. I don't have it on there.
Yeah, you did. You said, I think it was at the bottom, though.
Dream catcher, mythical creatures. If you're dreaming of mythical creatures, it usually signifies worry, misfortune, or defeating monsters to succeed.
Yeah, it was a crazy dream. I kept shaking and sweating, but it was relieved it was a dream.
You took on that damn monster, didn't you? Yeah, it says. Or do you have a lot on your mind, or are you worrying about something going on in your life, or something like that? Because according to this, it could signify worry, misfortune.
We had to be ultra careful with the rusty tools hanging on the shed because what? I had a dream. Me and my friends were stuck in an old-time barn shed-looking thing and having to board up the loose boards. Zombies and cannibal-type people were trying to alive.
I've had dreams about zombies, but nothing like that.
But we had to be ultra careful in the rusty tools hanging out the shed and barn because if we got cut, the blood would be detected and we would also get tetanus.
So seriously, yep. There was this old shed that we used to always go up to. We never went in it, well, because we would have been trespassing, because it was somebody had it that was in a house along this back road where my ex-in-laws used to live. And they had all kinds of old, like, equipment and stuff and that in there. It looked like probably sharp tools and stuff and that, but we had overactive imaginations too, and would go by it and would tell each other that there was a ghost in there or there was a zombie in there and different things like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I know there's so many things like we were talking the one night, like trying to do like Bloody Mary and what that Charlie. I never even heard of that one until just a few years back. I didn't even know that was one. And
that's because it didn't become a thing until a few years back. People were trying to scare each other.
So it's like the Bloody Mary and the Candyman and stuff like that, but it's just a newer version, more or less.
Candyman freaked me out when I was a kid because people were like, "You say his name 5 times into the mirror, he will appear behind you and steal your soul." And I was terrified. You can ask Mom and Dad. I came home one day and I was like, "Mom, Dad, Candyman's gonna come steal my soul because I was told by a bunch of kids at school."
I remember that vividly, and you were petrified. And I'm there. Do you want me to go to the mirror right now and say that and prove to you that nothing's going to happen? No, Mom, I don't want you to die. Oh my God,
I want you to lose your life. I was terrified. Felt real. I was surprised when I wake up every
I think that's dreams, like when you have them that vivid, and it's usually in something that's a terrifying dream, not a good dream, and you do wake up all sweaty and shaking like that kind of traumatizes you for the whole rest of your next day.
Yeah.
I've had some dreams recently that was bad. Abby had one the other day that her cat Aspen died, and
she told me.
Or should I say unalived?
I never saw Candyman. Well, I didn't at the time when I was a kid either. I didn't even know what it was.
You mean the movie, right? Is that what you're talking about, Cactus?
I think that's what she's talking about. What I'm saying is I haven't seen the movie either when I was a kid, and the one day came home from school. This is like one of my memories because I don't really have that many from when I was in school or even as a kid. But I came home from school one day because kids were telling me if I said his name 5 times into a mirror, he would come up behind me with his hook and steal my soul.
I saw the original couple, and then I saw the remake or the redo, whatever you want to call it. I still go the original. I like the original better.
We saw the new one. It was stupid.
Yeah, I just did not like the way they made it. I did not like the whole. I see Monkey even said the old movies of Candyman are better than the newer ones. I absolutely 100% without a shadow of a doubt. The new ones I can't get into it. It lost like the essence of the original Candyman. The original Candyman movies, they really put that scare into you like the old Halloween movies.
Well, it's because they're old. They're older. They have that
scare essence. Yeah, that old like boogeyman. Horror, legendary tale horror that gets to you.
He has a hook, but what is with the candy part of Candyman?
When they captured him, I can't remember because I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie. When they captured Candyman, they got him and they put honey all over him and had the bees get all over him, and they cut off his hand and they put a hook there, and
so that's why he has the hook.
Yeah, and when he comes back and he gets you, he usually uses that hook to.
Well, why is he called Candyman?
Probably because of the honey. I don't know. Was it, Eric, was there a reason how they came up calling him Candyman?
I don't think they ever said.
I don't think they ever said either. I'm just taking it that it was because of them
slapping them down with honey and having the bees get them?
Because he was an artist and son of a slave who was murdered by a lynch mob.
Yeah, they got him and
They
they
covered him in honey from a local prayer.
apiary.
Yes, that. Attracting bees to sting him to death, creating the sweet but horrific nickname. So yeah, that's
So it is from the honey. That's what I kind of thought. It was just the fact that they it's a really good movie, and that is one series that I got to be honest with you. Even the sequel, the second one, I liked pretty much. Of course, it wasn't like the original one, but I did like the sequel. But the newer one, they lost that essence and
it
that.
is boring.
Yeah, they just lost the whole feel that the original one had. But does anybody else have any thing that they want to say? Because we're at the hour and a half. I know poor Linda, she has just, her husband, thank goodness, had a surgery. Everything came all out well with it. Hopefully, maybe going to get a chance to be able to kick back and relax now and get some sleep. Maybe her husband finally is going to get some sleep. So best wishes to you, Linda, and to your husband on a real speedy recovery for him. So let's all just send him lots of hugs and love and best wishes for him to get back on his feet here soon. But I know she's tired. And once again, Ronan, Monkey, you guys showing up again, our regulars. You guys are amazing, and I just hope you like the show that we had tonight, and we can sometime in the future we can have an update on all the subjects we did cover so far, and maybe that'll be one of our Saturday gather and gab sessions.
I do want to talk about my one dream.
Go ahead.
It was me being chased from a cabin in the woods by a faceless man.
That kind of puts me in mind of when I was growing up, and we used to play chicken with the house on the hill before the middle school, and that was built. It was just a dirt road. Well, they did eventually pave part of it up to the railroad tracks, but the rest was all still dirt road. And the house on top of the hill, the guys and everybody played chicken on who could go up on the porch, touch the door, and that's when I had my encounter with whatever it was. It kind of
The Grim Reaper.
well, it had I didn't see a face, and it did float. And I said hi, but when I turned around, when it passed me, when I realized, well, man, why is this person wearing a cloak? When it passed me and I turned, it was gone. But the weird thing about it is when I went home and we found out the next day, probably about the same time that I saw that, is when our one neighbor had passed away. So did I indeed see death? Like I have that image in my mind.
Maybe you did, and he was like, "Shit, you're not supposed to see me." And then
I don't know. I mean, that really like it freaks me out because it was very, very vivid.
Like a freaking Grim Reaper looking thing.
It was very, very vivid. Like it didn't have the scythe, of course, like the old rumors that Grim Reaper with the scythe.
I don't think that they do, even
but that's
was
coincidence. I don't know, but that freaks me out.
But yeah, the being chased from a cabin in the woods by a faceless man. I've had that dream like 2 or 3 times. Not recently, but as I was growing up, and I don't know what it meant.
I don't think I've had dreams of faceless people chasing me or anything, or coming after me or anything like that. But so let's go. I'll do the dream outro and then we'll call it a night. And yeah, you guys review if you see anything or like listen with your headphones, and I don't know. I could hear footsteps. We both heard what sounded like a door opening and closing and clicking, like when we go out and we're rustling up something to eat, and opening drawers, and that's what it sounded like, but whatever.
I thought of writing horror stories, both of you.
I have a book that I've been working on. It's not horror stories. It's all about paranormal and supernatural, but they're not stories that are made up. They're stories of experiences that I've actually encountered.
If I could find my book, I was writing stories in it. They were short stories, though. I wouldn't say they're horror stories, but they were like mystery. Like, it would have something to do with being in a house and then finding a certain thing and having to unlock a thing, and it was mystery. It was mystery.
Have on my computer in my email, I do have my preface and maybe a chapter of the supernatural book that I started writing, and I also have the preface of what I was going to write about the jail. So I mean, at any time anybody wants to hear those, I can easily pull those up, but that we could do that on a Gather and Gab, whatever. But here's the dream outro now, so we can end this and people can get some CP beepies. As the night fades and the mind returns to waking, remember, dreams are the language of the soul. Some fade like mist, others linger like a message waiting to be understood. The journey ends, but the dream never truly does. Long after the eyes open, hidden in the corners of your mind. Ask yourself, were they only dreams, or did they mean something more? Until we meet again in the space between sleep and reality, dream deeply and dare to remember. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep wondering, and listen closely to what your dreams may be trying to tell you. Good night and sweet dreams. So with that being said, good night and sweet dreams, guys. Thank you all for coming. We love you to death. And either tomorrow we'll do the Universal Yums or we'll do it on Thursday, but we got a lot scheduled. I will let you guys know. I'll post something tomorrow about what we're going to do. So
When's the normal Universal Yums?
We normally do Universal Yums on our Real Talk on Thursday.
Okay. We could do that one on Thursday.
So we can do that. And then we can do the Gather and Gab, your subject even. You can, because it's kind of like it's a good subject. So Monkey, thank you for showing up again. Cactus, everybody, good night. We're going to call it. We're going to go out and maybe investigate out what was going on out there. If you guys catch anything or see it by reviewing, drop us a line.
Yeah, let us know, Cactus.
Yeah, let us know what you might have heard or seen or whatever. So, bye, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up again. You guys are awesome as usual.